Hi guys, John Bailey here. We are at the EOTech factory in Plymouth, Michigan, and I thought I'd give you a quick rundown of kind of the evolution of a holographic sight. A lot of people think that maybe it's a new thing, but holography has gone back into the 50s. It was researched at one point here in Michigan, funded by the US government to try to find how holography can help the government and also how possibly it could be commercialized. So back then we had researchers and scientists working on holography, and basically they created this monstrosity. This is the first holographic sight in a way. Things were big back then. Lasers were big. It just took a lot of space and time to create something. But what this did was eventually create the holographic image that you see today in the HWS. As things got smaller and more miniaturized, we were able to do things that made more sense for a firearm. 1993, this was the first prototype of a holographic sight that can actually fit on a firearm rather than this, unless you got an M2 or a tank maybe. But this was the first holographic sight. Again, prototype. Basically, the optical path was very long, so it was all inside there, but eventually projected the hologram or the reticle on this back window. Obviously not durable and ruggedized like today's, but it was a good concept to show that it could be done. As we evolved, we created this little guy. Again, the same optical path, very long and low. But what was really cool about this when we first launched this, and this was commercial, is the reticle plates in here, or the glass, was removable. So the optical path always kind of went towards that, but you can take this glass out and put a new reticle in there. Obviously you'd have to zero it a little bit, but we offered several different reticles, the ring and the dot, a dot. We had some tombstone stuff for some competitive things. So that was a really cool feature that you can change the reticles, but you weren't submersible, it wasn't contained, so there were limitations from a commercial or even a professional standpoint. But this was about 1996. And what we did was, EOTech didn't have a brand at that point. We weren't EOTech actually, we were ERM, a different company name. So we didn't have a brand. So what we did, we went out and leveraged Bushnell. So if anybody ever looks way back, Bushnell was the first one to come out with a holographic weapon sight, but we made it for them. So we branded it HoloSight. It was for Bushnell. They leveraged their channels, their distribution, all their customers, and they pretty much got us on the map commercially. The military looked at this thing and they thought, wow, that would be really great on our rifle. It can't withstand what we put it through, so we'll have to ruggedize it. So what we did is we used Bushnell for the commercial arm, and then EOTech was developed to basically service the military. So what we ended up doing is taking this sight right here, normalizing it with a battery that's useful for them, and then ruggedizing it with a hood, aluminum hood, so it would take all the damage and the pounding that those guys put it through. In 2006, this was standardized by USOCOM. It's two CR123 batteries, ruggedized hood, submersible to 66 feet. Back in the day, it was the arms throw levers for quick attachment, so they can go from a scope to a holographic sight if they need to for mission readiness. But this was the first one that was standardized by USOCOM. So that and the credibility of USOCOM and basically the sunsetting of the AR ban that Bill Clinton put in place basically boosted our business. We were the site for SOCOM, and the AR sales just flew through the roof, and our site just works fantastic on the AR platform. So we went through the roof, business was great, EOTech brand was born, and it just kept going after that. So what you're seeing today is more sights like this, still have the ruggedized hood for durability, dependability, but we put the 123 battery sideways for more rail space and more compact size. We did some really cool things for military and law enforcement. We partnered with Laser Devices at the time, now they're Steiner, but Laser Devices and their D-ball system, and we paired basically their laser system with our 552. So it's all one system, all your controls on the back, so it kind of reduced the weight that was on the rifle and gave it kind of a unified platform. One of the coolest products, I think the coolest product that we've ever done, is this little guy right here. It's for a 203 grenade launcher. So it's a secondary optic. It mounts on the side of your handguard, so you need a rail there. And it actually is positioned about like on this angle. And you have your 203 launcher underneath your M4. When you're ready to go, you basically bring the rifle up, and now this is aiming at your target, and there's a reticle in there that goes as far as accounting for the spin drift of the projectile. So it's extremely accurate. They don't have to use the leaf sights anymore. You could use something like this and more lethality, more accuracy than ever before. Really, really cool sight. This, I think, was the best thing we've ever made. And then this guy, you know, on an M2, a lot of times you're kind of doing the spray and pray. This gives you that 1x aiming dot, but a much larger window for an M2, so you can kind of stay back. You got unlimited eye relief. It really, really works well on an M2 and gives them, again, more accuracy, more hits on target than your iron sights. So that's kind of the evolution of a holographic sight. It took us a long, long time to get from this big dude to these little guys, but the technology is there. It's still the fastest optic you can ever have. It's still the most uncompromising because the ring gets you on target really fast. The dot is the smallest aiming dot in the industry because it's a laser dot, not an LED dot. So tons of benefits. This is the evolution, and this is what put us where we are today. Any questions on our current sights, check us out at eotechinc.com. Thanks for watching.